Learn English through stories.
Real talk, real growth, one story at a time. All right, everyone, Daniel here, and today we're continuing our story of life in America with something that nobody really prepares you for, making actual friends as an adult in a foreign country.
Sophie here. So you've survived your first week, you can order coffee without panic, but then you realize, I need real human connections, not just polite small talk with cashiers, but actual friendships.
This hits so deep, Sophie, because back home, you have friends from school, work, your neighborhood. But when you move somewhere new, you're starting from zero, and making friends as an adult is already hard enough in your own language and culture.
Exactly. At first, I thought friendship would happen naturally, like I'll go to work, be friendly, and boom, instant best friends. But American work culture is different. People are nice, but there's this professional boundary that I didn't understand at first.
Yes, I remember thinking my coworkers didn't like me because they never invited me to hang out after work. But later, I learned that many Americans keep work life and personal life very separate. It's not personal, it's just cultural.
And then there's the whole challenge of being social in your second language. You know how back home you can be funny, sarcastic, charming. Suddenly you're speaking English and you feel like you've lost your personality. You can only express basic thoughts and feelings.
That's such a real struggle. Your humor doesn't translate, your quick comebacks disappear, and you worry that people think you're boring because you can't show your real personality through your English yet.
Right. I used to be the person who made everyone laugh at parties back home. But in America, by the time I figured out how to say my joke in English, the conversation had moved on. I felt invisible and uninteresting.
And here's something that really surprised me. Americans make friends differently. Back in my country, if someone invites you to their house for dinner, you're basically family. But Americans might invite casual acquaintances over for barbecues. I kept misreading the friendship signals.
Oh, that's so interesting. I had the opposite confusion. Americans would say, we should hang out sometime, or let's get coffee soon. And I would wait for them to make specific plans. I didn't realize that sometimes it's just polite talk, not a real invitation.
Exactly. The indirect communication style was confusing. I had to learn that we should do lunch often means I enjoyed talking to you rather than I'm going to call you tomorrow to schedule lunch.
But you know what I discovered? Once you understand the cultural patterns, Americans can actually be very open to new friendships. They're curious about other cultures, and many people are excited to have international friends.
That's so true, Sophie. And here's what helps me, joining activities based on shared interests rather than trying to force friendships at work. I joined a hiking group, started playing soccer on weekends, took a cooking class. Friendship grew naturally around doing things together.
Yes, activity-based friendships work so well because you're focused on something fun instead of the pressure of making conversation. Your English improves naturally while you're enjoying yourself, and people see your personality through what you do, not just how you speak.
And sports were amazing for this. You don't need perfect English to kick a ball or understand the game. I made some of my closest American friends through pickup basketball games in the park.
I love that. For me, it was volunteering at the local animal shelter. Working with dogs doesn't require complex conversation, but the other volunteers and I bonded over our love for animals. The friendship started there and grew into real connections.
These activity-based friendships also give you natural things to talk about. Instead of struggling with small talk, you can discuss the game, the volunteer work, the hiking trail. It takes pressure off your English skills.
And here's something nobody tells you. It's okay to be direct about wanting friends. Americans appreciate honesty. I started saying things like, I'm new here and looking to meet people, or I'd love to have some local friends to explore the city with.
That's brilliant advice, Sophie. Being vulnerable about your situation often makes people want to help. I remember telling a neighbor, I don't know many people here yet. And she immediately introduced me to 3 other families on our street.
Right. And don't be afraid to make the first move. Invite people for coffee, suggest weekend activities, host potluck dinners at your apartment. Many Americans are used to busy lives and appreciate when someone else takes initiative in planning social things.
And here's something that helped my confidence. I stopped trying to be the perfect friend and started being the authentic friend. Instead of pretending to understand cultural references I didn't know, I would ask, what does that mean? Or tell me about that.
Yes, people love explaining things about their culture to interested foreigners. Your questions become conversation starters, not conversation killers. Americans especially enjoy being cultural ambassadors and sharing their traditions.
And the beautiful thing is, as your English improves through these friendships, you start showing more of your real personality. My American friends still tease me about things I said in those early days, but in a loving way that shows how far I've come.
That's so sweet. And true friendship transcends language barriers anyway. Some of my deepest conversations happened when my English was still pretty basic, but my friends could see my heart and intentions, even when my grammar was wrong.
Exactly. And here's what I want to tell people who are struggling with this. Those awkward early friendship moments are temporary. Yes, you'll have some uncomfortable experiences and some friendships that don't work out, but that happens to everyone, even native speakers.
That's so true. And the friendships you do build will be extra special because they saw you through this challenging time of adaptation. These friends witnessed your journey and growth, which creates really deep bonds.
And speaking of challenges, next episode, we're going to talk about something that hits everyone at some point during their first few months abroad: culture shock. Those moments when you realize this new country does things completely differently from home.
Oh, that's going to be such an important conversation because culture shock isn't just about big, obvious differences. It's often the small, everyday things that nobody warned you about that catch you off guard.
Now let's share some practical phrases you can use to start conversations and build friendships, plus specific strategies for meeting like-minded people in your new city.
Remember, every lasting friendship starts with one awkward conversation. Don't let fear of imperfect English stop you from connecting with amazing people who could become lifelong friends.